Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So in today's video, we're going to review 5-star Victor, and we're going to go over some of his moves and do a little bit of gameplay. Now the most important question of all is he hot or not?
I like a man who flashes his sword quickly.
Okay then. Victor is one of the newest Lunatic characters, of course. And although he's been out for a few months, he's still one who's not easily replaced if you're using him for certain conditions. And his VC, of course, is back to basics, which I like very much, slash weapon equipped character damage plus 30% for one turn. Note that he's actually very, very effective outside slash zone, so having the enhancement of a kind of a half or pseudo slash zone is very, very useful. He can be used with a number of other slash units, especially some of the highest DPS characters, Thila for example, OG Elga. There's a number of different slash users who he can really enhance. So you can see the 3 moves we're going with. Sudden Tempest is a very nice preemptive win slash single enemy only. However, int down, speed down 20% for 3 turns. So if you're taking on some of the faster or tougher bosses in the game, this one will be very nice. Any preemptive move is very useful, and although it's not an AoE, still has a lot of use. A lot of the enemies do have powerful magical attacks, and of course speed down. That means your rest of your team can act first before the boss does. He also has another few different moves in his kit. I don't find them as useful, but still, Thunder type AoE slash and slash resistance 25. Not bad. I mean, right now there aren't any real needs for Thunder type attacks, and slash resistance 25 isn't the most powerful. You can actually get stackable up to 50%, but still, nice to have in his arsenal. And also, Divine Thunder is the one that self-damages his entire team and power up and int up 20%. Again, not the most useful, being that a lot of VCs have 30% int and power up, and some of the more powerful users in the game can power themselves up, in which case you're going to have diminishing returns on those buffs. Now, in terms of some of his more signature moves, Thunder's Blaze is the one you're going to be spamming during AF or even outside AF, is Thunder slash 1 hit and then additional 4 hits XL, so a total of 5 hits. And during AF, it increases combo meter, and when Lunatic, you get more attacks and increase the bar even more. So and damage, of course. So this one can go from 5 hits to up to 9 hits once you activate Lunatic, and I'll demonstrate that a little bit later in this video. You can see the effectiveness of it both within AF and outside AF. So keep in mind, 9 hits on an enemy really does power up the bar, especially if they're weak to slash or if they happen to be weak to thunder element, which, like I said, not too many enemies at this point have weaknesses to thunder, but obviously moving forward, there should be those who are. We already see it in some of the newer bosses who are weak to crystal, for example. And finally, to round out the moves, lightning speed is wind AoE and an additional thunder slash attack. And keep in mind that when Lunatic is activated, he gets speed increased 50% and thunder type attacks 50%. So it enhances his thunderous blade. Keep in mind that this is a wind move, so the extra thunder slash attack won't help if you ever have a thunder zone in the future. It's kind of like other moves where the element is dictated by the icon, which is next to lightning speed, which is wind. That being said, extra hits are always nice. Still not too bad as the AoE, not even that expensive. 47 MP is not the most MP costed. There are certain moves that are over at 50. Okay, so let's bring up his board. You can see that those 2 moves are unlocked here. I will say that in general, Victor isn't really used for DPS. Like you can see with his signature moves, most of them are used to enhance combo meter and increase the number of hits, which will really help power up your AF bar. So I haven't enhanced or put on any Grasta on him yet, but I mean, we can always tailor that in the future. Let's take him out for a spin. If you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So you can see that enemies who are weak to slash in this case obviously will react very well to his wind AoE, and keep in mind that if it doesn't die in the first hit, there is that thunder slash afterwards. So not too bad in clearing mobs who are weak to it. Obviously, if they're resistant to thunder or resistant to his wind attacks, then you're going to have some problems, but that goes with all characters. And keep in mind, he's not enhanced by Grasta either, and he's still doing decent amounts of damage with his single type moves. But you can see that when I used Thunderous Blade, note that the first hit was more powerful and the other ones are only 1,000 each. And I realize that's resisted, but still, even if you say non-resisted, it's only really 2k a hit, which is much less than you would expect from a 5-star. Okay, so against some of the horrors in the game, because his DPS is rather low, you can see what's going to happen if we take on, horror one-on-one. And you can see most 5-stars can actually handle horrors with 1 or 2 hits. He needs to activate Lunatic, which actually eats up a move, and you can see he was not able to handle this horror on its own. But like I said, he plays very well on a team. He helps to enhance 1-turn AFs as well as 2-turn AFs, being that basically it increases the combo meter. And keep in mind, combo meter, for those who don't know, every percent that it is, so in case of 100, 200, 300, that enhances all the other characters move to that amount of damage. So for example, if your normal character does 100k, at 300% combo meter is doing 300k. So you really want to build the meter as quickly as possible, and he is really, really good at doing that. Inside AF, you can see his hits essentially enhance the combo meter by 50% as opposed to other people, which is really only 7 to 10% with even 3 hits. You can also see that in the right team, he essentially powers the AF combo meter. You have other members contributing to damage or obviously having damage synergies, and then you have 1 or 2 major DPS finishing up or rounding up the team. And you can see that Elga and AES Myris were both key in ending Ukwaji 170 in 1 turn. So let's see how he does on powering up Philolili. And I know this is a combo that is widely promoted in terms of their use. Both of them are Lunatics. Obviously, Philolili is a Shade unit, and you can watch my 5-star review of her if you'd like. On a 2-turn AF, even during zone, which is slash zone, keep in mind that outside slash zone, each individual hit does power up the AF bar separately. So when he does 9 hits, it actually powers up the AF bar quite dramatically. During zone, in the AF, it doesn't power up more than just a single burst, just like every other person in the AF. Because during the zone, they actually only allow each hit, whether or not it's 1 or 10, to power up the same percentage on your AF bar. That being said, the combo meter is still rising dramatically, and it allows your major hitters to do substantial damage. Look at the 400% combo, and you can see that Philolili landed the final critical finishing hit, which is 20 million damage. So without a high combo meter, you're going to see lesser damage. And so like I said before, he is essentially very, very useful for that. And I can't really say anything else about it. There are other units that are very similar. You have Yuri now, you have Skull, both of which are free, keep in mind. However, he does add a lot more combo meter than those other 2 I mentioned. That being said, those other 2 do have different elements and abilities. So, depending on the need and what kind of team you're running, then obviously you would tailor your team comp to reflect that. I will say that after pulling on Victor, and I only recently got him, the last couple weeks, I think he's still nice to add to your roster. However, I will also say that I wouldn't consider him absolutely necessary. He's very gimmicky in terms of helping power your combo meter, and like I said, if you have a strong DPS team, it does enhance that. But if you don't have strong DPS, you really need to concentrate on that. Obviously, you need zone setters and or support to help your team survive or enhance their damage through buffs or debuffs before finishing off the boss. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.